Chapter 4, Surrey, England. Anyone lucky enough to be a guest at Harleston Court should wake in time to watch the sun rise above the gardens. Jacqueline Leung thought as she sipped the orange peacock tea that she had just been brought to her bedside on an exquisite bamboo tray. Propped up against 4 layers of goose down pillows, she had the perfect view into the pure symmetry of the box parterres, with majestic yew hedge beyond and the morning mist rising over the Surrey Downs. It was these quiet moments before everyone began to assemble downstairs for breakfast that Jacqueline really relished most during her frequent visits at the Shangs. In the rarefied stratosphere inhabited by Asia's most elite families, it was said that the Shangs had abandoned Singapore. They'd become so grand they think they're British was a common refrain. Though it was true that Alfred Shang enjoyed a lifestyle that surpassed many a marquess at his 6,000-hectare estate in Surrey, Jacqueline knew it would be a mistake to assume that he had transferred all his allegiance to Queen and country. The simple truth was that over the decades, his 3 sons, all Oxbridge educated naturally, had one but by one taken English wives, all from appropriately aristocratic families, of course, and chosen to make their lives in England. So beginning in the early 80s, Alfred and his wife Maple were compelled to spend greater parts of the year there. It was the only way they could get to see their children and grandchildren regularly. Maple, being the daughter of Sien Sai Tai and Rosemary Young Sien, was far more Chinese in her ways than her husband, who was an Anglophile even before his Oxford days in the late 1950s. At Harlan's Court, Maple set about creating a decadent domain that indulged her favourite aspects of East and West to restore the 19th century Venetian rival-style house built by Gabriel Hippolyte Destiller. Maple coaxed the great Chinese decorative arts historian Huang Paofan out of retirement to work alongside the legendary British decorator David Hicks. The result was a ravishingly bold mix of modern European furnishings with some of the finest Chinese antiquities held in private hands. Harleston Court soon became one of those great houses that everyone talked about. At first, many of the Burke's peerage crowd talked about how terribly vulgar it was for a Singaporean to buy one of the finest houses in Britain and try to run it in the old ways with its mind-numbing number of staff and all the trimmings, but the landed gentry accepted their invitations anyway, and after their visits grudgingly had to admit that the Shangs hadn't mucked it up. The restoration was splendid, the ground was even more splendid, and the food, well, that was utter heaven. In the decades that followed, I guess the world over began to covet their invitations because the word got out that Harleston Court's chef Marcus Sim, a Hong Kong-born prodigy who had trained with Freddie Giraudet, was genius in both French and Chinese cuisine, and it was the thought of the breakfast this morning that made Jacqueline reluctant to get out of bed. She walked into the dressing room adjoining her bedroom and discovered a fire already burning in the fireplace. A vase of freshly cut Juliet roses arranged on the dressing table, an outfit she had selected for the morning already hanging against the copper warming rack. Jacqueline slipped on her figure-hugging cream fit and flare sleeveless dress with iconic pointe-tail knit trim, marvelling at how it had been worn to the perfect temperature. She thought of weekends at other English estates where the bedrooms felt like icebox in the morning and her clothes felt just as frozen as she put them on. I don't even think that the Queen lives this well, Jacqueline thought, recalling that before Alfred and Mabel had moved in, her grandmother Sue Ye had sent a team over from Tysell Park to help train the British staff properly. Asian hospitality standards were fused with English manor house traditions, and even her boyfriend Victor had been impressed the last time he visited, holding up his aubergine dress shoes one evening as they dressed for dinner. He said in astonishment, "Honey, they fucking ironed my shoelaces." This morning it was the chef's eggs that were most astonished Jacqueline as she sat on one end of the immense dining table in the Grade 2 heritage-listed breakfast room. How is it that only Marcus can make scrambled eggs like this?" she sighed to Maple as she savoured another forkful. "Doesn't your chef do good eggs?" Maple asked. "Sven's omelettes are fabulous and he can poach perfectly, but there is something about these scrambled eggs that are absolutely divine. Fluffy, creamy, and just the right amount of runny. I look forward to every visit because of them." "What is the secret?" "No idea. I never touch the eggs, but you must trust Must try some of this Yubu. It's made with Dover's sole that was caught just this morning, Maple said. It's the cream. Marcus uses the chopped cream made from our Guernsey cows in the scrambled eggs. 12-year-old Lucia, Shane piped up from the far end of the table. At last she speaks. That's the first peep I've heard out of you all morning, Lucia. Now, what's this book you're so engrossed in? You're still not reading those Hunger Games vampire novels, are you? Jacqueline asked. The Hunger Games isn't about vampires, and I stopped reading them ages ago. I'm reading Siddhartha now. He's quite good. It sounds Indian, Maple said, scrunching up her nose at her granddaughter. It's about the Buddha. Hey, Lucia, what are you doing reading about Buddha? You're a Christian, and don't forget that we come from a very distinguished long line of Methodists. Yes, Lucia, on your great-grandmother's Rosemary side, the Youngs, your ancestors, were actually the first Christians in southern China. Jacqueline agreed. Lucia rolled her eyes. Actually, if it wasn't for the missionaries running amok in China after England won the Opium Wars, would all be Buddhists. Shut up, lad. Don't talk back to Auntie Jacqueline, Maple admonished. It's fine, Maple. Lucia's just speaking her mind. Maple wouldn't let it go, muttering to Jacqueline. This half-bred granddaughter will be the death of me. Mama, I understand every word you're saying, Lucia said indignantly. No, you don't. Shut up and read your book. Cassandra Shang, Maple's daughter, and better known by those in her circle as Radio 1 Asia, entered the room, cheeks still flush from her morning ride. Jacqueline did a double take. Cassandra's hair, normally parted down the middle and pulled into a tight coil at the nape of her neck. Frida Kaiser was rather uncharacteristically braided intricately along the sides, but flowing free down her back. Cass, I haven't seen your hair down like that in ages. This is throwback to your slave days. It looks marvellous. Maple peered her daughter through her bifocals. Teasing, you're not a young girl anymore. It looks ridiculous. Cassandra felt tempted to tell her mother that you could begin to see the facelift scars through the thinning hair in the scalp, but she resisted. Instead, she chose to acknowledge Jacqueline's compliment. Thanks, Jacqueline. You look ridiculous perfectly as well as always. New dress. No, la, I've had these old rags for ages, Jacqueline said depreciatingly. Cassandra smiled, knowing full well Jacqueline was wearing a one-of-a-kind Asdean. Not that it would even matter what she wore. Jacqueline has the sort of beauty that made anything she put on look drop-dead chic. Cassandra headed to the sideboard where she helped herself to a single toast point, a double of marmite, and some fresh prunes. As she took her seat opposite Jacqueline, a footman approached, deftly placing her morning cappuccino made with small batch single origin beans and iPad next to her. Thank you, Paul. Cassandra said, switching on the device and noticing that her email inbox was unusually full for this early in the morning. The first message came from her cousin Oliver in London. Have you seen the photos yet? Oh, babe, I can already imagine what your mother must be saying. Which photos? While she waited for his response, an instant message came in from her sister-in-law in India. Cassandra looked up from her iPad and announced, India just messaged me. Apparently, Casimir has an opening for the photography of Central St. Martin's tonight, and he didn't tell anyone. She's wondering if we want to go and surprise him. Lucia, your mother wants to know if you want to go up to London to see your brother's latest photos. If it's going to be more pictures of this friend vomiting curry outside our pubs, I'm not interested, Lucia replied. Oh yeah, don't talk like that. It's fine art. Casimir won an award for his photography last year, Maple told Jacqueline in interviews of her favourite grandson. Cassandra realised that Oliver must be talking about Casimir's photographs. Well, I think these photos are going to be quite daring. I've just got an email from Oliver and apparently he's already seen them. Oh, Oliver's back in London. Is he going to come to the show too? Maple asked. I'm not sure, but India is now saying that Leonard can pick us up in the helicopter on his way down from Southampton. We can all go to the Open together and then dinner at Clark's. Another tasteless English dinner. Maple groaned. Cassandra checked her Facebook wall and let out a sudden gasp. Oh my God, she clasped her hands with Avena, staring at the photos that flashed through an iPad. Oliver wasn't talking about Casimir's silly little ex after all. These were the photos he was talking about. What are you looking at now? Another piece of dirty gossip from one of your unreliable kung-taos, her mother said derisively. Jacqueline, you need to see this, Cassandra said, handing her the iPad. Jacqueline peered at the screen and saw an image of Astrid standing on a turret next to an elephant. I don't get it. What's the big deal? Jacqueline asked. Oh, you're on the last photo. Scroll up. There's a whole series of photos. Jacqueline waved her hand over the screen, her eyes widening as she scrutinized the image. Are those real? Looks pretty real to me, Cassandra chuckled. Dear me. What is it? Maple asked. Jacqueline held up the iPad, and from across the table, Maple could see the blaring headline. Exclusive pics of tech titan Charlie Wu's lavish proposal to girlfriend Astrid Leung, but she's still married. Alama, let me see, let me see. Maple demanded excitedly. A footman's wordlessly appeared at Jacklin's side. She handed the iPad to him, and he dutifully walked it over to the other side of the table where Maple was seated. Lucia, clearly not as engrossed in Siddhartha as she pretended to be, rushed over to peer at the pictures with her grandmother's reading aloud. The ink hasn't even dried on Hong Kong's tech titan. Charlie Wu still wallpapers yet, but this apparently didn't stop him from orchestrating over-the-top marriage proposal to his gorgeous girlfriend, Astrid Leung. The $1 million proposal involved renting out the fairy tale Marangas forth in Jodhpur, hiring more than 100 musicians and dancers, and having a Bollywood superstar, Shah Rukh Khan, serenade them while an elephant helped to deliver the enormous diamond ring. Looking at the pictures, Astrid has obviously said yes, but there's still one small problem. As far as we know, this high-born beauty is still married to Charlie's arch-rival, the Singaporean tech wonderkind Michael Teo. Maple squinted at the picture. Hey, oh, Saiga. When were these taken? Last weekend, it looks like, Jacqueline said. Last weekend? But isn't Astrid in Singapore with the rest of the family? Obviously, she snuck out of town with Charlie. My God, can you imagine how furious Felicity and Harry are going to be when they see this? Cassandra said, shaking her head. Not only that, but this is a disaster for her divorce case. Michael's going to have so much new ammunition now. Poor Astrid. Jacqueline sighed. Maple huffed. Poor Astrid, my foot. She should be at her grandmother's bedside instead of splashed all over the news. How dare that Charlie would propose to her again. The cheek of him, still trying to invade our family. I thought Felicity had got rid of him years ago. Oh, mother, those two have been in love since day one. If Felicity had let it happen the first time around, the whole Michael Teo disaster would never have happened. Cassandra said Felicity was right to put a full stop to that nonsense. Those wounds were completely unacceptable. The ghastly vulgar mother of his, I'll never forget what she did to me. What did Irene Wu do to you? Jacqueline asked. Cassandra rolled her eyes. That's ancient history, Mum. Please don't bring it up again. That woman tried to steal my seamstress. I found this girl, Minnie Pock, who did the most wonderful tailoring. She had a little shop next to Fitzpatrick on Dunhern Road, so convenient as she could replicate all those Nina Ricci, Sharon and Farrell dresses I love so perfectly. My goodness, Maple, those Louis Farrell were fakes. They looked like they came straight from the Paris boutique. Jacqueline lied. Maple nodded. Yes, I had everyone fooled, but then that Irene Wu came along and tried to hire the girl to work in her tacky mansion full-time, so then I had to go and hire her full-time. So you won? Jacqueline asked. Yes, but it should have never happened. I had to pay Minnie Pock almost 15 cents over what Irene offered to pay her. It was 1987, Mum. Time to get over it, Cassandra said. People like the Wus, they never know when to stop. And now look what's happened. Once again, they're dragging our family's name into the mud. Who sent this article to you anyway? Mrs. Lee Yong Chen posted to her Facebook page. Cassandra replied. Mrs. Lee Yong Chen is on Facebook. I don't believe it. That old lady can't even draw her own eyebrows, Maple exclaimed. Rosie, those adopted daughter she treats like a slave, does everything for her. Ever since Mrs. Lee discovered her Facebook, she's been posting like a fiend every day. Every other day there's another annoying photos of her grandchildren winning some award or pictures of some funeral she's attending. Yeah, if Mrs. Lee knows about this, then the whole of Singapore will soon know. All her mahjong friends will find out about this, Maple surmised. I don't think you understand. This is on Facebook. The whole world can already see this, Lucia informed her. Maple tutted sadly. Then I truly feel sorry for Suyi. This is happening at the worst time. I thought Astrid was her last hope, but one by one all her grandchildren disgraced her. How is she ever going to close her eyes in peace? No wonder she changed her will yet again. Really? Jacqueline and Cassandra gasped in unison. Jacqueline sat bolt upright in her chair. Is this why Astrid rushed back to Singapore? Maple looked at her, flustered. Yeah, I'm not supposed to say anything. Say what? What did Dad tell you? Cassandra prodded, leaning forward in anticipation. Nothing, Maple insisted. Mum, you are so bad at lying. You clearly know something. Come on, spit it out. Maple stared down at her polar porridge, looked conflicted. Oh, well, there's no use trying to force her. After all these years, your mother still doesn't trust us. So sad. Jacqueline sighed, giving Maple her seductive sideways stare. See what you've done? You've insulted Jacqueline. Cassandra scolded her mother. Hey, you two. I know you are both such big mouths. If I tell you, you must promise not to say anything, okay? The two ladies nodded in unison like obedient schoolgirls. Maple, who had grown up surrounded by staff and usually spoke in her unfiltered manner with no thought to the present, did the rare thing of making eye contact with George, the head footman, who immediately recognised the signal for privacy. George gestured quickly to the four other footmen that they made a discreet exit from the morning room. As soon as the door closed, Maple said in a hushed tone, I know your father had a big meeting with all the lawyers from 10 and 10 2 days ago, very hush hush, and then Freddie Tan went off to see Su Yi by himself. Jacqueline said, dissecting this intriguing new tidbit. Cassandra winked at Jacqueline. Don't worry, I'm sure you're still in the will. Jacqueline laughed lightly. Come on, I am the last person to expect to be in Su Yi's will. She's already been so generous to me over the years. I wonder what she did this time, Cassandra moaned. Well, until these pictures leaked, I actually thought Astrid might have a chance at inheriting Tysel Park. Jacqueline theorized. Astrid, never la. Su Yi so old-fashioned. She would never leave that house to a girl. She might just as well leave it to her own daughters, Maple insisted. Then if it's just the boys, my bet is on Eddie. I hear that he's really been working overtime to be the number one grandson. He's apparently won't leave her sight, Cassandra reported. I'm not sure it will be Eddie. Su Yi told me herself that she can't take him seriously, Jacqueline said. Well, then she's running out of contenders. No way she would ever let one of the Leong boys get hold of the house, but maybe one of the Akaras. Maple wondered. Cassandra snorted. That would be too ironic for words. Would she really spite Philip and Nicky, the only true youngs left, in favour of those foreign grandsons getting Tysel Park? I think not. Maybe she's had a change of heart then. Don't you think Nicky might have been reinstated? Jacqueline said. Definitely not. He's still banned from the house. My soul tells me that he goes over there every day, grovelling on his knees, hoping to see her. But he still can't get in. Why would she suddenly give him Tysel Park now? Cassandra argued. Maple scrunched her face. That stupid boy giving everything up for that ugly girl. Come on now, Maple. She's not ugly. She's quite pretty, actually. She's just not the kind of beauty one would have expected for Nicky. Jacqueline remarked diplomatically. I know what you mean. Rachel's pretty, but in a very conventional way. Her lack of style doesn't do her any favours either, Cassandra said. Jacqueline smiled. I wish I could tell her that she needs to grow out her hair by another 4 inches. The medium long length is just so American. Cassandra nodded in agreement, and her nose is a bit too round, and her eyes could be a bit bigger too. And have you seen the way she sits, so frighteningly common? Maple snuffed. Ah, I can't bear to listen to any more of this. Lucia shrieked in anger, pushing her chair back dramatically. You're talking about Rachel as if she's some kind of show dog. What does it even matter what she looks like as long as they love each other? Uncle Nicky gave up everything to be with her. I think that's so romantic. I can't wait to meet her, and you're all wrong. I know what's going to happen to Tysel Park, and it's certainly not what you think. Shut up, Lucia, and stop making up stories, Maple scolded. You and Auntie Cassie just chatter on and on about so much rubbish, but none of you have a clue what's really going on. Do you ever listen to what Grandpa and Daddy talk about? With that, Lucia stormed out of the breakfast room, the lady staring open mouthed after her. What other nonsense, Cassandra scoffed. Maple shook her head gravely. Can you believe how rude that girl has become? I know Ben Dowes would be all wrong for her. Those teachers do nothing but keep encouraging her confidence. My goodness, back in my day at the convent, if I had talked like that, the nuns would have beat me black and blue with a wooden ruler. Jacqueline's eyes narrowed. On the contrary, Maple, I don't think she's useless at all. I think you have a very smart little girl in your hands, smarter than I ever realised. Thanks for listening.